Let's get straight to the point. Number 8. The hustle hero delusion. Remember the old you? The one running entirely on lukewarm brew and existential dread, convinced that ignoring your body's screaming red flags made you dedicated? Yeah, that version wasn't strong. That version was just chronically inflamed. The ultimate boundary isn't what you say to others. It's refusing to treat your own well-being as a negotiable side quest. We live in a culture that glorifies burnout. But scientifically, chronic stress just floods your system with cortisol, essentially marinating your brain in anxiety juice until you can't think straight. When you constantly sacrifice sleep or peace to please others, you aren't being helpful. You're teaching people that you are a renewable resource they don't need to conserve. The moment you actually prioritize your health, taking a break before you collapse, the dynamic shifts. Humans are simple creatures. We mirror what we see. If you treat your own peace as sacred, others stop treating it like an open buffet. Stop trying to win the suffering Olympics and take a nap. Number 7. Stop decorating the word no. You know that awkward dance you do when someone asks for a favor you hate? You start drafting a 3-page manifesto explaining why your cat's dental surgery, which doesn't exist, prevents you from helping them move a heavy sofa. Here's a wild thought. Stop it. Stop decorating the word no like it's a holiday tree. When you over-explain, you aren't being polite, you're handing the other person a map of your insecurities. You're basically saying, please find a hole in my logic so you can guilt-trip me into saying yes. Psychologically, over-explaining is often a fawn response, a biological survival tactic used to avoid conflict by seeking approval. But guess what? People don't respect a no that comes with a full PowerPoint presentation. They respect clarity. When you say, I can't make it, and then, brace yourself, stay silent, you project massive I value my time energy. It feels illegal at first, like stealing a single grape at the grocery store, but it's actually the fastest way to gain respect. Silence isn't empty. It's a boundary. Stop apologizing for having a life that doesn't involve everyone else's drama. Number 6. The digital leash paradox. Your phone buzzes and you jump like a trained poodle. Why? Because we've been Pavloved into believing that every ping is a life or death emergency. It's not. Most texts are just digital clutter, yet we treat our lock screens like a bomb squad dispatch center. When you reply the millisecond a notification appears, you aren't being efficient, you're signaling that your attention is cheap and easily hijacked. Scientifically, this constant switching costs you up to 40% of your productive brain power. It's a phenomenon called task switching penalty. By refusing to be an on-call emotional support animal for everyone's random thoughts, you reclaim your cognitive sovereignty. Stop acting like your phone is a leash. When people realize you don't live in your inbox, they stop expecting immediate access to your brain. It forces them to be more intentional with what they send you. You aren't being rude, you're just busy not being a slave to a silicon chip. If it's a real emergency, they'll call. If it's a meme of a cat in a hat, it can wait. Seriously, the cat is fine. Number 5. The power of the quiet exit. If someone treats you like a doormat, why are you staying around to discuss the thread count? Most of us were raised with this weird idea that we need to win every argument or explain why we're offended. Newsflash, toxic people aren't interested in your feelings. They're interested in your reaction. When you stay and fight, you're essentially feeding the troll. Evolutionarily, we are wired to seek social cohesion, which is why your brain screams, stay and fix this, even when the other person is being a total jerk. But high-value humans don't beg for respect. They simply remove their presence when it isn't being offered. Walking away isn't losing. It's a power move that signals your time is too valuable for nonsense. By making a quiet exit, you leave a vacuum where your attention used to be. Science shows that silence is actually a more powerful social deterrent than shouting because it forces the other person to sit with their own bad behavior. If the vibe is rancid, just ghost the situation. You aren't an airport. You don't need to announce your departure. Your legs work for a reason. Use them to find a room with better humans. Number 4. The calendar fortress. Your time is the only resource you can't get back, yet you treat it like a free mint at a diner. People will try to pick your brain as if your life is an all-you-can-eat buffet. Every yes to a useless meeting is a no to your own goals. In psychology, this is opportunity cost, the value of what you lose when you pick the wrong alternative. If you let others derail your schedule, you're donating your life to their lack of planning. Setting hard stops on meetings isn't being a hermit, it's being a strategist. High-status people treat their calendar like a fortress. When you defend your hours, people actually start showing up on time. They realize that if they miss their window, it closes. Hard. You don't need to be available 24/7 to be liked. You need to be intentional to be respected. Your time is a premium currency. Stop spending it on people with zero interest in your exchange rate. Stop being a yes man and start being the CEO of your own hours. Don't let people rent space in your day for free. Start charging a premium of boundaries. Number 3, retire from the emotional repair service. Are you everyone's favorite unpaid therapist? Congratulations, you've become an emotional dumpster for people who refuse to buy their own trash cans. It feels good to be the fixer because your brain gets a nice hit of dopamine from being needed, but it's a trap. When you constantly solve other people's crises, you aren't being a saint, you're being an enabler. You are literally robbing them of the opportunity to develop their own neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and learn from struggle. By setting a boundary and saying, "I can't take this on right now," you're forcing them to actually use their own gray matter. It sounds harsh, but being a constant safety net just trains people to jump without looking. You aren't responsible for someone else's chaos, and you certainly don't have to sacrifice your mental health to stabilize theirs. Respect comes when people realize they can't just dump their baggage on your doorstep and expect you to unpack it. Let them handle their own luggage for once. You've got your own heavy lifting to do. Being supportive is great. Being a 24/7 repair shop is a recipe for a breakdown. Number 2, the mystery of not being a public billboard. Stop treating your private life like a 24-hour reality show that nobody actually subscribed to. There's a weird modern obsession with being an open book, but here's the problem. If you give everyone the password to your internal world, don't be shocked when they start rearranging the furniture. Scientifically, oversharing is often linked to an attempt to build fast intimacy, but it actually triggers a vulnerability hangover, that delightful feeling where your brain realizes you've given people too much leverage. High-value people understand that privacy isn't about having dark secrets, it's about emotional hygiene. When you stop broadcast streaming every struggle, plan, and snack, you create a natural aura of mystery. In social psychology, the scarcity principle applies to information too. People value what they can't easily access. If you're a mystery, they have to respect your space. If you're a billboard, they'll just graffiti their opinions all over you. Keep some chapters for yourself. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your revolution. Close the curtain and let them wonder. Number 1, the vibe check verdict. Ever feel that weird, prickly sensation in your gut when someone says something just a little out of line? Your brain is literally firing off micro-signals from your anterior cingulate cortex, the part of your brain that detects social errors. Most people ignore this alarm because they don't want to make it weird. Newsflash, the other person already made it weird. You're just the only one acknowledging the smell of the social dumpster fire. Respect isn't built on being a polite floor mat. It's built on being the person who calls out the elephant in the room before it crushes the furniture. You don't need to be a jerk about it, just name the discomfort. A simple, "I'm not comfortable with that," is more effective than a 1,000-yard stare. When you speak up the second something feels off, you stop people from testing the structural integrity of your patients. It's like being a social gardener. If you don't pull the weeds of disrespect when they're small, you're going to end up with a jungle of resentment. Don't let people just kidding their way into insulting you. If it feels wrong, say it. Your gut isn't a liar. Stop treating it like an annoying roommate and start listening to its warnings. If you actually learned how to have a backbone today, hit like and share this with a friend who's still everyone's unpaid therapist. Subscribe to Coolest Dude Explains. We drop daily reality checks to keep your boundaries sharp. Now go ignore a text and enjoy the silence. See you tomorrow.